Thank you so much for being here tonight with me. My name is Lushonda Briggs, and I am the Director of Professional Development for Free2Prayz Solutions Incorporated. I'm so happy to be with you tonight. We just got off of an amazing live session with our Director for um, Mental Health Counseling. And so here we are to talk tonight for our last series of our So You Think series conversation. So You Think You're in Shape. And so I'm excited to be with you. I've enjoyed sharing with you all throughout the month of November, meeting with you every Saturday morning to talk about several topics like investing in yourself, making an impact, delivering your best, and going beyond glass ceilings. And then we met to talk um, 2 weeks ago about So You Think You Want to Be a Leader, which I thought that was a helpful session. So tonight we are going to wrap it all up with our last live conversation. So You Think You're in Shape. All right. So do me a favor when you're coming in the room, say hello, drop a comment, drop a line. I know some of you all are transitioning from the last live to come on to this live. So I'll give a few minutes before we get started. I do have some announcements that I want to go over momentarily to share with you the things that we have going on. We have hit a busy season in Free2Prayz, which I'm super excited about. Once again, we are a nonprofit faith-based organization, and our focus is on ensuring that we provide uncommon solutions to the community and community at large. And so I think I had a slide with some info on it I wanted to show you. It may have disappeared, but needless to say, thank you for being here again. So let me go ahead and touch base on some of the announcements that we have while we're waiting for our audience to come in to the room. All right. So coming up on this Saturday, we have a feature for our Sue's Safe Haven. There will be a computer and mobile webinar series that our director is doing. Nakia, she's leading that effort, and she'll be helping our wonderful seasoned seniors to become proficient at Zoom or identifying scams, making sure you guys don't get taken advantage of, going through phone settings, any basic tech info, using Google Meet, which is an app where you can connect with people, downloading apps as well. So you can feel free to find us on Facebook for that session. Again, that'll be a computer and mobile webinar series that we have. It's launching on this Saturday at 1 p.m. Also, what I want to share with you is we've launched our series under our mental health and the secret place, which is our mental health counseling branch of the organization. We have started with having difficult conversations. And let me just tell you, tonight's conversation was amazing. I was still trying to get ready for my live, but listening in on the difficult conversation, which was um, focusing on yourself and loving yourself. And so it was some great information that was shared. And if you missed tonight's session, you could check back on our page. It will be available to view in the next couple of days, but don't worry. There are two more opportunities for you to jump into the conversation, and it is so vitally important, especially during this season, for you to have the outlet to be able to share, talk, and be poured into. And so Dimitri will lead on the 15th of December at 6 p.m. the conversation focused on mending relationships. And then also he has another opportunity for you to join us, which is going to be on December the 29th, which is another session of having difficult conversations, a relationship series session number 3. And this is focused on communication with a specific focus on grieving during the holidays. All right. So you can find all of this information on our Facebook page. Free2Prayz Solutions Incorporated is where you can find it. Our web page is under construction, but it will be up momentarily, which will have all the information that we've shared. And there's also going to be some other contact information for us as well, where you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. So we're all over the place. We're everywhere. All right. So it's 7:07. Let's get into the conversation for tonight. So we're talking about so you think you are in shape. And I know you all are like, what is she talking about? Well, we know that November is and today is closing out professional development or career development month. And so we're thinking about this topic of so you think you're in shape. SHAPE is an acronym. And I think when we think of being in shape, we talk about being in a good state. We're in a good state of being. We are feeling like we are in a good place. And so when we have this conversation tonight, I would like for your minds to go to the space of assessing what's the status of the health of your development, your professional development. And based on the session we previously had, you may also think about your personal development, but we're talking about career and professional development. And so let me share this graphic with you because these are the questions I want to ask you first. I want you to ask yourself this, okay? Are you feeling satisfied? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling accomplished? Are you feeling passionate? Are you feel like you're evolving? Now, when it comes to your career or your professional background or experience, I think that you should be able to, if you are in the proper place and doing the thing that you are, I would suggest, destined or purpose to do, that you would be able to answer yes to one or more of these items that are listed, right? Are you satisfied? Are you happy? Are you accomplished? Do you feel accomplished? Do you feel passionate? And do you feel like you're evolving, right? Now, by way of definition, right? Satisfied means to be content or pleased. To be happy meaning you're feeling pleasure or having confidence in what's going on. To feel accomplished, it's that you are highly trained or skilled. You are operating at a higher level. To be passionate would be to having you have a strong feeling or conviction about what it is that you're doing. And then evolving is to be considered developing gradually or consistently changing. And so when you think about your career, when you think about your professional outlook, your professional profile, can you say that you're happy about what you're doing every day? If even if you're an entrepreneur or you're going to a 9 to 5 or you're focused on some element of your development, are you happy about where you are? Are you feeling satisfied? Now, I believe satisfied and happy are two different things, right? Because sometimes we can be satisfied about a thing, but not necessarily happy, right? We're satisfied that we got the job accomplished, but we're not necessarily happy because it didn't happen in the time that we wanted it to, right? We're satisfied that we met said goal, but we might not be happy because it took us a little bit longer or it was a little more complicated, right, than we anticipated. So those are all things to consider when you think about your career, your current professional outlook. Are you satisfied? Are you happy? Do you feel accomplished? Do you feel like you've achieved anything that's worth noting? I think one of the things, and it's not to be boastful or bragging, but you ought to be able to speak well of the things that you've worked hard at doing or accomplishing, right? So whether it was you challenged yourself to get a certification, or whether it was you challenged yourself with a new assignment, or you stretched yourself to another goal beyond what you were comfortable with. We talked about going beyond glass ceilings on Saturday. So have you reached to the next, right? And have you accomplished something that makes you feel like you could give yourself an attaboy or attagirl, pat on the back, and you can acknowledge that you've done something significant that you feel like contributes beyond the scope of just your day in and day out. So do you feel accomplished, right? Are you passionate? Really, when I think about passionate, it's really that strong conviction that this is the thing that I'm destined to do. I can wake up and do this every day and not get paid to do it. Do you feel that, right? When you think about your professional outlook, even considering where you want to go in your future, is that something that you consider? Because I think a lot of people sacrifice passion, they sacrifice their dreams, they sacrifice their aspirations because they just want to be able to say that they can take care of their families, right? Or they can meet the paycheck, or they can be financially equipped to take on whatever it is that comes, but you sacrifice something in the process. And I think there are a lot of people who are in jobs or careers that really wouldn't say they're passionate about it. I don't know. You can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. And sometimes it's where you have to bear down and you're like, all right, I'm just grateful I have a job. I'm grateful I can pay my bills. I'm grateful I can take care of my family. But it's not the thing that you could wake up doing every day and not get paid for it and still want to do it. And then the other piece of that, which we'll get to, is that some of us don't know what our passions really are, right? And so sometimes it's hard to be passionate about what you don't know you're really passionate about because you haven't taken the time to figure out what it is. All right. And then lastly, which I think this is the most important component of it all, is do you feel like you're evolving, that you're gradually changing, that you're becoming better, that you're developing in the things that you're doing in your career? Are you being made better? Is it equipping you, investing in you? We talked about investing in yourself. And so in the place that you are in your life, in your career, in your development, your professional journey, are you evolving or are you stagnant? Are you stuck in the same space? Are you doing the same job you've been doing for 10, 12, 15 years, maybe 5 years, right? It's the same capacity. It has not stretched you. And it's just something where it's like you could literally do it with your eyes closed. There's no challenge. It's just, you know, you get up and you go to work, you do your 8, you skate, you go home, and you look forward to the weekend, right? And so the reason why I'm talking about or having you to ask yourself, are you in shape? Because some of us think we are. Some of us think we are in a good state. We are doing well. And really, we're not necessarily in a good state. We've just become complacent, right? You've become comfortable with things as is. You're not aspiring to do anything different. You're not evolving. You're kind of flatlining. You don't look for opportunities or challenges to show your best self, right? Delivering your best. We talked about that too one Saturday morning. And so when you stop and you pause and you think about, are you in shape? Really ask yourself, as it suggests, ask yourself, are you in shape, right? Are you truly satisfied, happy, feeling accomplished, passionate, and feel like you're evolving? If at any point you answer no to any one of those questions, then that means it's time for you to look inward and ask yourself, what do I need to do to get to a place where I am in shape? I'm of the belief is that we're on borrowed time, right? And we don't get more of it. We only get a certain allotment. We don't know how much of that we get. And it only makes sense to use the time that you have in the best way possible. And if there is something that you have to offer, if there is something that you're capable of that you have not tapped into or that you're keeping to yourself, what good is that? Why would you essentially be selfish to keep what you have to offer to yourself and not share it with those in your workplace, in your organizations, in your churches? Because ultimately someone will benefit and possibly someone needs what you have to offer. But if you are not challenging yourself, if you are not looking for more, if you are content and complacent, right, then you are selling yourself short of life's experiences and all that it can offer, right? And so tonight I really came on for this conversation to have you think and to challenge yourself and question yourself about the status and the state of the health of your current career, professional profile, professional outlook journey. Because if you answered no to any one of the things that you see on this screen, then it may mean that you need additional support. It may mean that you need redirection in order to help you get to a place where you can say yes emphatically to any one of the things that we have listed. Now, this acronym of SHAPE that I came up with, it's a spinoff of another acronym that actually stands for SHAPE too. But I wanted to segue into that conversation by having you to really get into a reflective and introspective place, because I think one of the things that we are challenged with is we just don't take the time. We're so busy. We're going. Everything is going on around us. We are reactionary. We're responding to life as it's coming. It causes us to lose sight of our goals, right? If you think about the version of yourself when you first started in the workforce, or the version of yourself that you envisioned yourself being when you thought, or even, let's go back even further, when you were a child and they asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? That concept of who you were and who you were going to be, with the imagination that comes along with that. Because as a child, we really don't know what life is yet. So we say things like, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a pediatrician, or I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a pastor, right? And all of those things seem attainable, and somewhere along the line, because I think honestly, if we go back to what those things that we said when we were children, that's probably more closely aligned to our passion than possibly where we wound up. Now, by no means am I trying to talk you off of your job. I'm not trying to talk you out of your career. I am trying to help you to consider that you can find the things that put you in shape in the place that you're in, but you cannot do it if you're complacent, right? You cannot do it if you don't take the time to be introspective and to focus inward on what is it that will really cause you to be satisfied, happy, feel accomplished, passionate, and evolving, right? And sometimes if you don't find those challenges where you are in the workspace, then that means it's two things: either the environment that you're in, or it's the internal you that's creating that. So let's go ahead and talk about what you need to do to get in shape, right? Because we talked about what causes you to not be, well, the things that you desired to say that, either you're happy or you're not. Where did my image go? Here it is. All right. So this is what we're going to share now. And this is curated from a book that I read called The Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. So you may have come across that book before. But Rick Warren suggests that these are the 5 things that you should ask yourself when you are considering being in shape. And this along the lines of identifying your purpose. And so it's more from a spiritual basis. And most of the words I kept, I changed just one of them to make it kind of neutral. But I think honestly, it means the same thing. So we talked about, if you answered no to any one of those previous things, are you satisfied? Are you happy? Do you feel accomplished? Are you passionate? Do you feel like you're evolving? If you answered no to any one of those things, it could be because you have not identified what your purpose is. Yes. Okay. Since you all are in the room, do me a favor. If you have identified your purpose, you know what your purpose is, drop a 1 in the comments. I just want to see something. If you know what your purpose is, drop a 1 in the comments. If you do that, it's great. Hey, and guess what? If you don't know what your purpose is, it's okay too. It's not too late, and it's not a problem. Because once I share with you tonight and this is not original to me, so I think if something is good enough and you read it and you receive it, you should share it. Then I'm going to share this with you. And that is what will really cause you to be in shape, right? So it's super exciting to see everybody who's commenting about who's in the vein of their purpose. And if you are not, and even if you are, right? If you are, you would align with what we're going to talk about. If you aren't, it'll help give you direction. Because the whole goal is that while we are on this borrowed time, that we live full in purpose. Yes, I suggest that you live in full purpose. So the first thing that you would ask yourself and you would discuss to identify what your purpose is to think about what your special gifts are, right? These are the things that come so natural to you. You don't, it literally, you don't have to try hard. And these are the gifts that find you even when you try to run away from it. So I'll give you an example. One of my special gifts, and if you have a faith-based background, we call it spiritual gifts. One of my spiritual gifts is the gift of exhortation. And so even on my bad days, when I don't feel like encouraging myself, someone could come, and I always have a listening ear. And in that moment, and having that listening ear, I'm listening to see what can I say to encourage somebody else, right? Or leadership. Leadership is another gift that I have. And even when I'm in a situation like these, trainings where you get broken out into group sessions, and it's like, now who's going to lead? I literally don't want to be the leader. I try to back away from it, but it never fails. At least one time or more, like, hey, LaShonda, would you like to go ahead and speak for us? Or would you, it finds you. So when you think about being in your purpose and being in shape, the first thing of that is your special gifts, your spiritual gifts. What are those things that you've identified that operate in you and you can't run away from it? Literally, you can't hide. It's always there. It knocks on your door. Think about those things. The second thing is heart. The things that motivate your heart and move your heart, right? The things that's where this passion comes from, right? When you think about the things that motivate and move your heart, I have a heart for people. I have a compassionate heart towards people. Literally, wherever I am, in whatever scenario I'm in, I have a heart towards people. So even in my career, in my profession, it reminds me of examples of like movies where I've seen like fighters or either football players or any sports or athlete. And sometimes you'll hear the coaches tell them, you got to have heart, right? Like, and what does that mean? It means you have to have a stick to itness. You got to have a full, you got to be fully immersed in it because it means something to you. It holds weight with you. And so when you think about your career, your professional development, or your development in general, you should have heart. There should be something in it that connects or pulls your heart to what you're doing. And you may say, I might not be able to do that in my 9 to 5, but there may be other opportunities where I don't necessarily get to pour my heart into what I do in my 9 to 5, but I get to do it in spaces like this nonprofit or on my platform to be able to share encouragement. So even if the opportunity is not created in a space of work, right, even in your church, you have the opportunity to be able, with social media, you have access and reach. You can reach out to people, you can reach out to your network and be able to share what's in your heart, what motivates and moves your heart. Okay? So the first thing is your special gifts or your spiritual gifts. The next thing is your heart. What drives your heart? What pushes you, what motivates you, what's the issue that's out of your heart? Like, what's that thing that's motivating you, pushing you? Because in most cases, that's going to be aligned to what your purpose is. Next is your abilities. What are those abilities that you have that you've acquired or either came natural to you that are not hard for you to do? I have the ability to talk. I think I do that pretty well. But it may not be talking for you, but it may be something else where you are time management comes to you. It's easy. Organizational skills come to you easy. That may mean you should be in a field of administration or something where it's focused on administrative functions. Finances, like your mind is like a human calculator. That may be your thing. It's not my thing. It may be your thing, right? And if that's the case, when you identify what your abilities are, those things that you are naturally good at, those things that you can actually learn and implement and master, that will speak to what your purpose is. All right. Next, personality. Now you may be like, well, what in the world does personality have to do with anything? Personality has to do everything with it. I believe that we are given the personalities that God desires for us to have. He knows us. He created us very, very unique. Each of us are different. No two of us are the same. And your personality is outfitted for your purpose. I believe it. The personality that you have is outfitted for your purpose. And so one of the things I know my purpose is to be in a non-people facing environment, meaning any type of job that I do, any type of space that I'm in, I have to be able to engage or interact with people because that's a part of my purpose. I love to talk. I love to engage. Part of my gifts is to encourage. I need to be around people to do that, right? Some people, that's not your thing because your personality is like, it's not that I don't like people. I just need my space away from people. Y'all following me? And so you may be more of a, behind the scenes database entry. That might be your purpose because you're like, listen, I don't have time for the high energy involvement and engagement with people. And that's fine, right? But ultimately, when you think about your development and focusing inward, you have to ask yourself, what are the traits of my personality and where would that work best? Okay. Lastly, your experiences. I think that our life's experience in totality is designed to help shape our purpose, right? Literally, if you think back about the experiences that you have from childhood, even up into your adulthood, they all speak to, it's like a great big, what's an analogy I can equate it to, right? It's like all these experiences that create this picture, right? Our life is a portrait. It's a portrait, and in that portrait, there are unique pieces that make up the picture. right? And our life's experience is a part of the portrait. So I would suggest to not discount any of your life's experiences because they help to make up who you are and essentially what you bring wherever you go. How does that connect to development, right? How does that connect to professional development? Because your experiences will give you credibility, right? The experiences that you've had from personal, professional, in organizations, um, within your churches or families, wherever, your own businesses, these experiences become teachers, they become lessons, and it builds your credibility. So you can go into a workspace and you could talk about your background or your experiences that you've had in XYZ because it's yours. And no one can take those things away. None of what these things are that we're talking about tonight can anyone take away from you. Your spiritual gifts, your special gifts, no one can take that away from you. Your heart, your passion, your motivation, nobody can take that from you. Your abilities, once you have it, no one can take it from you. Your personality is totally you, baby. Nobody can take that from you. And your experiences that make you who you are, no one can take that from you. And so that's what allows you to, what I consider to be in shape, right? It helps you to align with what your purpose is in the workplace, outside of the workplace. And it helps you get to a point where you can say, you know what? Because I'm operating in my purpose, because I am operating in a place where I'm valued, where I'm evolving, where I feel accomplished, where I am delivering the best of what I have to offer, where I'm making an impact because I'm properly aligned. I am in shape, right? Being in shape is about being properly aligned. So how can you become properly aligned, right? You have to ask yourself the questions that we talked about tonight. You have to take time to be introspective to identify, am I truly happy where I'm at? Am I satisfied with what I'm doing? Do I feel accomplished? Have I done anything that makes me feel like my time here has been valued? Am I passionate about what I'm doing? Like, this is really what fuels and motivates me to get up every day. And at the very end, at the very least of it, if nothing else, am I changing? Am I becoming better? Right? Am I investing in myself? Am I becoming the best version of myself to give back to the places where I work, the places where I serve, the people that I interact with? And so, the question of are you in shape? Only you can answer that. You may think you're in shape, and you may have realized I'm really not, and that's okay because I think the the point of realization is the turning point to change and do something different, right? So hopefully, this conversation has jump started you, has charged you to even think about the acronym of being in shape both ways, right? Talking about satisfied, happy, your your accomplishments. Do you feel accomplished, passionate, or evolving? Right? If you say no to any one of those questions, then let's look over how you can get in shape. Identify what your spiritual gifts are, your special gifts are, those things that are unique to you. Find out, what's the beat of your heart? What's the thing that motivates you and pushes you and gives you your pulse, right? Like the literally it's the thing that you could do and you would be so satisfied, right? What's in your heart, that's where you will find satisfaction, right? Your abilities, those things that you can master, those skills that you have, soft and hard skills that you can acquire, that you can master. What are those things? Your personality, who you are. Please don't try to take your personality out of the equation because it's just not going to work. You have to identify your personality and why you are the way you are and how that can contribute and benefit to the places where you're destined to go. And then lastly, your experiences. All of these experiences that make you who you are, they are beneficial. They are valuable to add to a place where you serve, whether that be in your church, organizations, or in your work. So I hope this conversation has been enlightening, and it has charged you to think about some things to consider. Are you really in shape or not? I do want to go over again what we have upcoming for the rest of this year with Free2Prayz, but I would like to, if you would have any questions, feel free to share your questions or comments. So thank you for everybody that's in the room. So I like doing shout outs. I do. I like doing shout outs. Jamette, Elise, Charmaine, Danny, Norma, Janet, Terry, Tamika, Wheatley, Kevin. Hey y'all. All right. So thank you all for being here. Let me tell you about how you can get in touch with us if you so desire to have support from Free2Prayz Solutions Incorporated. Okay, let me put this on here like I'm supposed to. Give me 1 second. Because we're here to serve you. We are an organization that's focused on providing uncommon solutions to the community. And the way we get to do that is by connecting with you, finding out what it is that you need. And once we do that, we might not have the immediate answer, and we very well may. And if we don't have the answers, we will get them to you, and we will get you the resources that you need. Okay, so it looks like I'm asked to provide the acronym again. So let me do that. I'm going to put up both of them. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I think I should be able to do that. Yes, I can. Okay, so I'm just working on getting both of them for you. All right, so you can see them at the same time. Here they are. Wait a minute. Okay, acronyms again. Here's what you need to ask yourself. The first thing, are you satisfied? Are you happy? Do you feel accomplished? Are you passionate? Do you feel like you're evolving? When you think about your professional development, your career, where you are in your career, and your professional outlook, your experiences, can you answer yes to all of those questions when you ask yourself? If you answer no, it's okay. Look to the immediate right of the screen. The way that you can identify how you can get in shape is by aligning with your purpose. And how you identify your purpose is by looking for those special gifts, those spiritual gifts, special gifts that you have. Your heart, which is your motivation, your abilities, which is your skills, your personality, who you are, your experiences, what made you who you are. All right. So, y'all, it's been amazing talking with you all tonight. This live will be available to view again within the next couple days. So look out for it there. Also, we have some more opportunities coming up that I want to share with you so that you don't miss them. Sue's Safe Haven is having and hosting a computer and mobile webinar series. The first is this Saturday on the 2nd of December at 1 p.m. going over helpful information about how to use Zoom, your phone settings, some tech info, how to use Google Meet, and how to download apps. So join Sue's Safe Haven this Saturday at 1 p.m. on the Facebook. Secondly, some of you all may have joined our session from the Secret Place at 6 p.m. before hopping on here. If you did, you already know that it was an amazing session, and we have a couple more opportunities coming up. On December the 15th at 6 p.m., please join our coordinator for the Secret Place, Demetri Clanton. He'll be leading us in a conversation in our relationship series with another session number 2, talking about mending relationships. Ooh, that's going to be a good one. All right. And then the next time you can also join him is going to be on December the 29th in our third session in the relationship series, talking about communication, specifically grieving during the holidays. Okay. And we are really just excited that you are joining us with all of the things we have going on. And so here's some ways that you can get in contact with us. We have opportunities for you to also support us if you would like to by way of donations. We are a 501c3 tax deductible organization. Our website is currently under construction. It will be up momentarily, but in the interim, you can always reach out to us at our other social media platforms, both by Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube and LinkedIn. And then our email address is listed below, f2psolutions@gmail.com. So we thank you in advance for supporting. Now, also, if you would like to get some support in reference to your professional development, as I stated at the beginning, I have the privilege and pleasure to serve as the Director of Professional Development And that gives me the opportunity to partner alongside you to determine what are your goals, aspirations, what are the things that you desire to do to make your career as fulfilling as you desire for it to be. And if that's the case, and if you've been charged or triggered, whichever one tonight, by the conversation, please feel free to reach out to us. I'll be more than happy to have a consultation, a conversation with you to see how we can support you and partner as you continue to get in shape. All right. So thank you all again. I really appreciated your presence, your time and attention. We'll be back again in the next coming, this weekend and the next couple of weeks with other Free2Prayz opportunities for you to join us. So please, 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 please make sure you stay connected and stay in tune with what we have going on. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Till the next time. Take care.